Hi guys, welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to go over how to make your own Amazon FBA dashboard. And the reason I'm making my own dashboard is, first, I love to make a report the way that is more visually appealing to me. And the second is that there are tools out there, but the problem is that with the tools, you have limitations and you are just limited to the information they are giving you. When you are making your own dashboard, there is no limitation, and it is up to you to add the meaningful KPIs that you need to see for your business, you handle your business. In today's video, I'm going to just cover a simple example of how getting sales and traffic report from business report and making a graph from that. But in future videos, I'm going to make this much more complicated, and like step by step, we will go over different reports, download them, show the KPIs, and at the same time start connecting these KPIs and these reports together to get more meaningful reports. There's nothing complicated about this. I really recommend you to go over this and watch this, because even if you don't want to make your own dashboard, there's always a report from Amazon that if you are able to use Google Data Studio, you can make that much more simpler to interpret and see the data. So let's start. I hope you enjoy it. So we are going to go over a simple example today of just one report from a business report and taking that to Google Data Studio, which is a business intelligence application from Google, and you can use this software to make reports based on your data, make some visual reports and stuff like that. So after signing it to your Amazon Seller Central, we go to business reports. On the left, we would go to sales and traffic. By default, you have some columns on here and they are showing, but what I usually do, I will go to the right side and turn on all the columns here. The reason is that I need some of this information. After adding these columns, you need to define your time period. Let's take the information and data from January 1st, 2020 to end of January 2021. Now that we have this data and all the columns, I will go ahead and download this report. So you come here to this download this as CSV. Next step is going to Google Drive. I have a folder here as dashboard. I'm going to create another folder called reports. So let's get into the reports and upload this CSV file here to this report. This is much more easier for me because after uploading this here, I can just simply tap here on the CSV report and ask Google to open this with Google Sheets. Another way is that what you can do is create a new Google Sheets. Okay, and open your CSV file, copy all the information and paste it here, but it takes time. That's why I found this easier just uploading this here and opening with Google Drive. Now that we have that report ready, let's change the name, sales. I usually write where I got this report as well, just for the future reference. So sales and traffic. I'll change the workbook name as well to sales and traffic. Now that we have everything ready, as you see here, the name change. I don't need this information. You can keep it there for future references, but for now I will delete that. Next step is to go to Google Data Studio. If you haven't used this before, when you tap here, probably you will be asked to sign up. It's an easy process and free. You just sign up for an account with your Google account, and then you enter to this page. Here what we have is some templates, ready templates from Google. This is our data sources that we will talk in a few minutes. what we're going to do is that we need to create a blank report. Tap here for blank report. In the next step, you need to clarify where is your data source. What are you connecting to? At the moment, where we are working is Google Sheets, but you might want to connect to your Google Cloud Storage or MySQL or maybe some other data sources. So whatever your data sources, you can connect from here. Actually, I'm working on changing everything and taking my data to Google Cloud Storage because that is faster than connecting to Google Sheets, and you can do pretty cool stuff, make your report work faster. That's something that I'm working on. I will keep you updated on that. So you connect your Google Sheets. By default, you can see your last updated sheet here. If you can't see that, just search from here, right? You can search from here, or you can open from Google Drive and find it much more easier from here in case if it is not here on the top. Tap on your spreadsheet, then you see all the worksheets that you have in your Google Sheet. At the moment, we have just one. If you had more, you would have seen all them here. So we are going to work with sales and traffic. Add to report. What is happening now is that your data is connected to this Google Data Studio. As you see here, these are all the columns from your spreadsheet. These are all the columns and with their data. So you have everything here. Before going to the next step, I'm going to show you this resources. If you go to resources, manage added data sources, you can see the data sources that you have connected to. What I usually do is to go to this edit and just do some changes in my data source. And what are you seeing here is the type of the dimensions or the columns or the headers that you have. You can define them here, and the reason for defining them here is that when you are showing these numbers in the graph, you can see the units as well. So it is better to change these units right away. As you see here, by default, Google Data Studio defined that date column is a date. We need to work on few things like sessions, it is number, page view, it is number, total order items, it is number, order item session percentage, it is not number, it is percentage, so you can change this to percentage. Order item session percentage B2B is percentage, so you can change to percentage. Order product sales are your sales amount, it is not number, it is currency, so you can use the currency. And this is the same sales but B2B. If you want to use that, you can change the currency here as well. So for now we are done. Tap here and go back to your data. Let me delete this. So I'm going to go over a simple example first. Let's add a table, right? If you go to add a chart, you can see all the charts that are available for you to make in Google Data Studio. I'm going to go to table, put the table here. When you are clicking on any graph, as you see here, you will see all the settings for that graph. Here in the Style tab, you can see all the visual changes that you can make, like making it bold, having a bigger font, or changing the color, stuff like that. They're pretty simple. I'm not going to go over that. But if you go to data, the first thing that it is asking you is what is your data source? So if you have a few data sources, you have to choose which data source you want to work with. Here, it's pretty clear we are working on sales and traffic. This data range dimension is important to add, and it's going to be the column that is showing the dates. And the reason it is important to add is that because you want this table to be affected with your date filters. We are going to talk about this in a few minutes, but it's important to add this to the table. Now, dimensions. What the dimension is, it is just asking you, okay, for this table, what do you want to show here? What dimensions or parameters do you want to show here? So let's say I want to see the date. You can add more dimensions. Now, what you want to see for any date, I want to see how many orders I had. So my total order items plus what is my sales for that day. I'm not adding B2B. Let's expand this and go to the view. Here, if you tap here, you can see the view of your report. And as you see, for each date, you have the items, total order items, and the sales, that how much value it is. You can scroll down, see all the days, and you can go to other pages and see for all the dates. So this is what you can do. As you see, it is pretty simple. You can add all the data that you need to the table. But let's go to the cool stuff. So what I'm going to do for next step is to add a scorecard. Let's see what's the scorecard. Look at data. Our data source is right. Yes, I'm gonna add this date for my date range dimension because I want this to be affected by the date filters. For the metrics, I want to see my sales here. Ordered product sales. So this is our total sales for the period of the data that we downloaded from January 1st, 2020 to January 31, 2021. I will make some changes here. I will go to style. I would love to see this as a compact number instead of seeing all those numbers. I will change that to compact number. And also here, I would love to make everything centers. These are pretty easy changes. You can go over them in terms of styling. Here that I have the metric, I don't want this to be ordered product sales. I want to change the name that is being shown here as revenue because this is my revenue, or you can change it to sales. So revenue. The next step is that let's add a controller. I'm going to add a date range controller right here on the top. And this would be, let's go to view. Now it is getting pretty cool. You can choose the date that you want to see your sales. I will say, okay, just show me last 30 days sales. Apply. And here you go. You have your last 30 days revenue here. Or any date that you want. I would say from January 1 to January 31. So you can see their revenue. There is one more thing that I want to add to this card, and it is this comparison. I love this one, and you have to add to all of your cards. Let's see what that is. If you tap here and tap here on the top, any number that being shown on the card, I want to see the changes compared to previous period. So if you tap here on previous period, apply. Now let's see what is happening. Okay, give me the information, my sales for from January 1st, 2021 to January 31, 2021. You have revenue, and how cool is this? You see the change compared to last period, meaning compared to December 2020 to December 2020. So it is pretty amazing that you can see these changes and how you can compare them with the last period. Now that we have this, let's make a few copy. I want to see the orders. So you can choose the total orders from here. Or another way is that you can find your total orders or the metric from here related to that. Just drag and put it here. They are both the same. So you have your total order items. I will change the title to orders instead of saying the whole thing. So I will copy. For this one, I would love to see the whole number because this is something that I want to see exact amount. Just uncheck this compact numbers. Now you have the whole orders. This next item, I'd love to see the units. So as I mentioned, B2B is not considered here. If you want to add that, you can add that as well. So here, same idea. I don't want to see the compact number. And for units, I will change this to units. Next number is that I want to see is sessions. So this is our sessions. Then order session percentage. Let's add percentage order item session percentage. So there is a catch here though. We can't use order session percentage because what Google Data is doing is that for any period that you're asking for information, Google Data is going over all those dates and summing all the data together. So for units, 100% that is right. For orders, for sales, it is right. But unit session percentage, that is not right because we can't add up session percentage. So let's calculate here and see if this is right. What is order session percentage? It is order divided by sessions. Let's see if it is right. What's my orders? Already 573 divided by sessions. As you see, it is 23%, not this number. And this is wrong, as I mentioned, because Google Data Studio is just adding up all the session percentages. There is one thing that we have to do, and it is creating a field. Creating a field is just an option for you to create new parameters from all the data that you have. I would name this order session percentage. And now we have to define the formula of how to calculate this. What is order session percentage? Is the total orders, sum of all the orders, which we have here. And as you type, keep in mind you can see what data you have related to that in your database. So total order items divided by sum of all of your sessions. When you are done with this, tap here on save. Now you can go back to all fields. This is the same tab that we went from source and manage data. I'm going back here. The reason is to change this to percentage because order session is a percentage, not number. Now that we have here, you can see this is added to our data. You can just drag this to our metrics and now you have the right number. Let's add, though, any information that you want to add, you can add here. I don't want to go over everything here, but let's do one more thing. And let's say you want to see your whole revenue, meaning your B2B revenue and the other revenue. What you can do is that, again, you can add a field, sorry. Let's call this total revenue. What is your total revenue? Is sum of orders, product sales, plus sum of order product sales B2B. So done with that. And now we can drag the new one, total revenue here. And how cool is this? Now we have our total revenue. You can change that to a compact number if you like. Let's see what's happening. If I change the information, let's just look at last 30 days. your revenue, orders, units, sessions, order session percentage, and this is your total revenue, including your B2B. For now, I'm going to remove this. I don't want to work on that, but this is going to be the situation for all of them. If you want to see all the orders, you have to sum the orders plus B2B orders. Let's go and add a graph of a linear graph, line chart. I will expand this. I would love to see the sales day by day and the number of orders. So click here. Let's see what we have here. The date range, we want to do this to connect to the data. Dimension is date because I want to see the date here. So this is my x-axis and I want to see here. That's right, that should be date. By default it is selected the metric, it is sales. Cool, because I want to see the sales, and also I want to see the orders, total order items. Let's look it up and see what's happening for last 30 days. As you see, when you hover over each day, you can see the sales and total order. I don't like this. I'm gonna go and change it because the fact that I have the sales and the orders in one axis, y-axis, is not good, and I can't see this line properly. Let's do some changes here. Tap here on the graph. The first change that I want to do is, first of all, I love to see this as revenue and this one as orders. Tap here. Let's look at this style and see what we have. We have two series, series number 2, series number series number 1, series number 2. What is series number 1? The first metric that you have. So this is series number 1, series number 2. For the series number 1, I'm okay with that. I just want to change the color to green, so you have it. And for the axis, this is going to be on the left, that it is already there. For series number 2, I will change the color to, let's say, purple. And I want to see that as bar, but I want this bar and order to be shown on the y-axis. So change this to right. Now we can see everything properly. Let's go to last 30 days. Apply. And as you see, everything makes sense here. There is just one issue though. As you see, these dates doesn't make sense. Why it is like that? Let's see why it is like that. Tap here. If I go here you can define what you want this graph to be sorted by. Right now this is sorted by product sales, but I don't want to sort this by product. I want to sort this by date. So I can go there and choose date. It is descending. No, we want this ascending. Now it is making sense. January 1, now it is going forward, and you can see the real data based on date. The last thing that I want to do is, you see these grids here? I don't want to see that. You can go all the way down and make this transparent. Last 30 days. So how cool is this? You have all your information. You have your revenue, orders, the date is right. Let's do more changes here. So this is good. The next graph that I want to add here is, I can copy this. I want to add unit session percentage. One trick, if you want to align them, you can do this. Choose both of them, tap here, align horizontally, center. Now they are aligned. Okay, so for this one, I want to see the sessions instead of revenue. So sessions here, right? This is your sessions. And next is I want to see my sessions percentage. There is the sessions percentage, order session percentage. But I'm not interested in seeing this as a bar. Actually, I'm gonna do vice versa. For sessions, I would love to see it as a bar. And for the other one, which is my unit session percentage, I want to see that as a line and on the right axis. Let's see if it is working properly. Apply. And there you go. You have your sessions and order session percentage. Order session percentage or your conversion rate is a really important factor for your business and how you're doing. So you have to constantly keep eye on that. What if you want to add page view here to this graph as well? Let's take a look at this. So we will click on this graph. There is an optional metric. So I want to be able to add the page view, but by default I don't want to see this here. You can use this optional metric, add the metric, choose page view. Let's check it out and see what happened. So now if you hover over this graph, you will see this optional metric. It is not here, but for this one, because we add, it is here. If you want, you can add page view. Now you have the page view on the top, right? Usually I try to add some information on the top from here to make this just visually more beautiful. So what I can do here, I can add this rectangular here and send this to the back. I love to add that as a green color. Make this white. Also, what I might do is making this black. Well, this is what I prefer, so you can change whatever you want. I'm just going over this to show you that how you can do these changes. So the background is black and the labels are white, right? So I will do these changes for all of them pretty quick. Since they are all the same, you can choose all together, go to style, and change all of them in one shot. That's pretty cool, right? There you go. You have this. Now I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna align this vertically. Okay. I'm gonna go over one more control here, that is slider. So let's add this slider here for now. What is a slider? I can choose that slider as, let's say, our session percentage. Our unit session percentage. Okay. Go to view. The way you can use this slider is that you can, let's say I want to see all the orders or all the data that my unit session percentage is between 16% to 22%. By changing that, you can clear that, or 17% to 22%. Now you are seeing exact dates that your unit session percentage was between this. Let's go back and add also, you can also add your refund rate, or even let's add refund, unit refunded. The last thing I would do is I would add a text here, dashboard, make the font like 32, make it white, and have it here. As I mentioned, this is a pretty simple example of what you can do with Google Data Studio and how you can show all the data you're looking for. Imagine when you're adding more data from your PPC, more data from your fulfillment, and you're connecting all these data together to see different information, to see what is your tacos for each product, what is your organic sales for each product. We can't add organic sales here, and the reason is that we don't have PPC spend yet or PPC sales here. In the future, when we are doing more of these dashboards, we will get more data from different reports, combine them together, and then you can see how cool that would be, the information you are getting from combining this information and this data together. Hope you enjoyed the content and it helps you to make your own dashboard. Future videos, we are gonna dive deeper into this, and as I mentioned, we will see all different reports and how we can connect them to get more meaningful reports. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel and click on the ring button to get notified when I publish next video.